So we had a little bit of an accident today. Yeah. We got into Glacier, West Glacier. This is outside of Columbia Falls, I believe, which we ended up traveling through. We need to talk about that. We got into West Glacier. It was around 1:30 in the afternoon. We were
Glacier National Park.
Yes,
in Montana.
Montana.
There you go.
We were redirected because we didn't have a reservation, which is kind of interesting. The reservation only applies to vehicles. It's a vehicle reservation. The other thing that I want to talk about is that I found interesting was this whole tipping culture. Whereas in the park, they ask for donations on top of their already expensive, high-priced souvenirs and memorabilia or whatever it may be. We bought 2 T-shirts, okay? I like T-shirts.
Same.
You like T-shirts, you like hoodies. But I like to commemorate and, remember the places that we've been on these travels. So T-shirts is what my preference is. And then at checkout, they're like, hey, would you like to donate to the park? You said yes.
I said
you
yes.
donated. And he says, we appreciate your donation. I felt a little bit better about it considering it was a donation instead of a tip. And I understand what it takes to maintain these parks. Although, as taxpayers, we pay into this on a regular basis as it is. But also at the same time, what they charge for admittance, annual passes is probably negligible in what it actually costs to run these parks.
Yeah. And keep them staffed and everything else. You got to think about all of that.
But on the way out of the Apgar Visitor Center, there was a jar or a bin container that had dollar bills in it. And it was a donation for some research for the animals. Like I started to paint a bigger picture as to why they want this money. Hopefully it actually goes towards that. But at the end of the day, I do appreciate the fact that these national parks do exist, that we can frequent and visit. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, as you pointed out, how many people are just kind of roaming around these parks and could potentially get lost in there, i.e. homeless.
There was a
Wanderers,
gentleman
drifters.
who had a bag, and I didn't see a vehicle anywhere. Although now I wonder if he was the guy who stashed the moped. Remember, there was a moped, and then there was a guy.
Anybody's guess.
Anybody's guess.
Anybody's guess.
But the downside is that that national park, as I'm sure many others, had negative cell service, like nothing. So if you do happen to go in there and you say, I see the walking path, the trail that's clearly marked on this map and that has the lights on it, and then they've got the board. I want to go between these trees where it's pitch black and there's a steep grade. I want to go that way instead. And then when nobody sees you for a week, they're not going to know where you are, how to find you. You've got no service on your cell phone. How are they going to ping you?
Y'all get out to go to the bathroom. I was not going to go to the bathroom, but then I got out to go to the bathroom because I'm like, well, I can't communicate with you.
Yeah.
So
if anything happens.
I got to go.
Yeah. And of course, we got out and went left instead of going straight to the bathroom.
Exactly.
Also.
So I'm like, I got to go because I can't call you. You can't call me.
Yeah.
And so regardless, we get into the park. We're redirected to the rangers because we don't have a reservation. And as we are pulling into the little area, they have these lanes designated.
Yeah.
We see a car accident. Again, folks, we are not making this up. We are not making this up. This is just...
Can we show any of it?
This is just a normal day, okay? But also, this is why we do what we do, because we do want to travel and experience and see different things, but, anything can happen anywhere at any time. And it's just interesting how these things develop and occur, but then trying to figure out and
It took a lot of videos today.
Dissect and walk it backwards to figure out how it happened. So there was a car accident. No doubt there was a car accident.
Before that.
We didn't ask the people involved how it happened.
Let's see if y'all can see this while you keep talking.
But the Jeep Cherokee or Grand Cherokee pulling the travel trailer was all up in that Jeep Wrangler's ass.
Took us.
I think it's a Grand Cherokee. Just destroyed that front end on that Grand Cherokee. And the back of the Jeep was pretty bad too. So we're wondering, how in the world did this happen?
How did y'all do this?
How in the world? Now, we got a lot from the ranger that was there. We talked to him. We asked him.
His name is John.
But at the end of the day, I'm gonna keep this quick. You want to go?
I might get some fresh coffee because the last one was 4 hours old.
Hit pause real quick. Thank you. Thank you.
Of course.
Now, as this is going on, it's kind of funny with the TV. I was like, why am I 10 times louder than I was before? But as it's going on, I'm thinking to myself, man, this sucks. But also, I'm thinking to myself, I am so glad I'm not driving my car.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It would not have made it.
I'm so glad I'm not driving my car, and I got the rental Kia Sorento with full insurance and everything. Like,
even if we didn't have a spare, even if we had 4 amazing tires, I would not have wanted to take your car through there.
Did you see the guy with the Porsche Cayenne drive past us?
It was so dirty.
He looked so.
He's so mad because he don't think he expected the construction and all that debris.
The roads are terrible.
The roads are terrible because they're working on the roads. We were warned, but she warned us about the weight. She didn't warn us about how
the worst part
janky
about it is who's at fault. Is it a no-fault situation?
Because it's a national park, kind of like a public parking lot.
Is federal property, national park, considered private property? Or you have to pay out of pocket? For instance, if you were to take your vehicle to a high-performance driving event, like a track day, as soon as you get on the track, now granted there were periods of time where certain cars were immediately and automatically had their warranties voided. Nissan GTR was probably the most well-known.
Yeah, listen.
The GPS would track you, and if it saw you anywhere near a track, your warranty was void.
Yep.
But insurance companies do not cover you.
No, while you're in there.
Yeah.
That's why you have to pay extra.
Haggerty, you can.
Barber. We paid extra.
For Haggerty.
Yeah.
It wasn't even our insurance. We had Haggerty special HPDE that you pay a certain amount. Regardless. After it's all said and done, does your premium double? Does your premium triple? Is your premium going to be sky high? How about travel or vacation insurance? Does that help? Does that help?
So let me do this really quick. So when I booked the hotel for last night here, I booked it through hotels.com. And this is before we had a flat tire, before we had any issues. I booked it, and it says, hey, for $8.13 a person, you can insure this booking. So if for some reason you can't make it, it will be refunded. And I was like, no, I'm not going to waste can't do math, $24. Why would I do that? Because we have no issues. We're seat of our pants. We're going. It's not a big deal. And then the flat tire, and I was like, $24? I could have saved us this massive issue and heartache.
We still made it. We still
made it though, so that's a plus. And our KOA that we were supposed to have tonight that we can't get to because of everything, they were nice enough to move us a couple of days so I didn't have to lose money there.
You said the KOA here only operates between
May 1st and October 1st.
And then outside of that?
It's too treacherous for the KOA because it's tent and cabins without AC or heat and stuff like that.
So it makes me wonder, do they charge more because they operate so little, or do they charge less because everything is less, like their land and everything is less expensive out here?
It's supply and demand. Limited supply, probably high demand for those months. They're gonna charge more because they can. Same thing between the journeys and the resort and the holidays. There is a price difference because a journey is just like, here, park your car and go to sleep. No bells,
some of those journeys were nice.
Are actually really nice, but those are going to be the cheapest ones because there's no bells or whistles. The ones that have the hot showers, the laundry, the coffee.
Journey still had hot showers.
Okay, that's true.
I think the simple fact of the matter is Journey, Holiday Resort, doesn't matter. Pride and ownership, and these are franchise.
They are.
And pride and ownership is where it's at.
It's huge, yeah.
But does this ruin your trip?
What?
Ruin your trip? So like, your Jeep's all banged up.
Well, if you
can't drive it and you got a travel trailer, like, man, does this ruin your trip?
Probably not, because at least you still have somewhere to stay, somewhere to sleep. You're still good there. You don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Like you have.
Yeah, but when you think about most Americans.
Here, you do one hand, I'll do one hand.
Most Americans.
Okay.
However, I think most Americans is maybe the wrong term to use in this particular situation, but most Americans probably only have 1 to 2 weeks of vacation time. So did it ruin the trip? Was this the beginning of the vacation? Was it the end of vacation? You got to get back to work?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not. maybe in this particular situation, they are an older generation, they're retired, and they're somewhat like us. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Except for the first day of school.
Unless this happens right before a treacherous storm, and you got to get out, and now you can't because you're stuck.
Now you're stuck.
And we've already discussed the challenges of escaping Montana, West Glacier area in heavy snow.
Totally off topic, but I mean, there was torrential downpours in Pennsylvania the last couple of days, and then you had the derailment last night in this morning, 4:50 this morning in Pennsylvania, train derailment because of the wet whatevers.
What if I went to get the rental car today, and the people in front of me were like, yeah, we're getting a car here, then we're going to go to Idaho, and then we're going to do this, that, and that, and we're going to come back. And the lady's like, what?
Don't tell everybody.
But you got to bring the car back here.
Yeah.
So what if they go to Idaho and it happens to them, and they can't bring the car back? But their flight is next week, and they got to leave. How does that work? How does that work?
Okay, remember how you said that there needs to be somebody who can go take care of your farm so that you can go on vacation? There needs to be somebody who you can call instead of like a hitman.
There is
or a
actually.
date for hire. There needs to be somebody you can call that will just go to wherever you need something done, like a Mr. Fix-It or a honey-do list.
It's called TaskRabbit.
Oh yeah.
And I remember this because there was that movie preview of the girl and her mom and boyfriend went to another country and got kidnapped. And she was trying to play detective from home, and she jumped on TaskRabbit for somebody in another country to do some snooping around for her.
Oh, the girl that was in the movie with Oprah and
Wrinkle in Time.
Yes, Wrinkle in Time. Thanks.
But either way, we had our own accident, separate accident actually. Probably shouldn't say this. Why did the kid pour her drink out in the backseat?
In the rental car.
Why did she pour her drink out in the backseat?
Because she wasn't paying attention.
There's so much room back there for
There's
activities.
So much room for activities, but she picked up the top of her drink like this, and the lid came off, and she poured an entire. She says it was halfway gone.
Passion, dragon fruit,
pink drink kind of thing, all into the floorboard.
It's like an $8 drink.
The floorboard, and actually they charged me for a grande, and I was like, oh, that was supposed to be a venti though. And they're like, oh, we'll remake it for you. And I was like, oh, thanks. But the good news is the floorboard is this color. So once I get them little dragon fruit pieces up, we'll be.
And we got the insurance, so
that's fine.
We should be covered there.
Yeah, we should be covered there.
We should be covered there.
Yeah.
The other thing is, now we made it out unscathed despite this dangerous construction work zone and crazy drivers inside the park. As I said, people are the same people inside the national park. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
However, just last week or 6 days ago, grizzly bear encounter at Glacier National Park.
We just missed it. And there was a ram.
No, we did not miss it. We did not miss it.
There was a ram one day too. Ram,
grizzly bear.
So Bryn, the one that we booked the horse riding thing with, she was saying that if she was telling me, she goes, and if you go through here, that little path that we were doing, the something road to the sun, what's it called?
Yeah.
Something along those lines. She goes, if you go here, you might see some rams and some whatever else. And I was like, she goes, but I can't promise anything. And I was like, well, how dare you? I'm going to come back here if I don't see anything. And I asked her, I said, I bet you have people who get pissed off if she goes, oh no, I actually had somebody one time go, what time do you let the animals out? And she was like, they just go wherever they want, whenever they want. Like, we have no control over these animals. And I was like, oh, bless her heart.
This place is massive.
Yes.
There's no way we could see it in 2 days.
No.
And I guess they just assume that Glacier National Park is a high fence national park where the government's trapping animals.
I mean, they're trapping us. Does that count? We're the animals that are being trapped, technically, because they have gates they can close and you can't get out once they close them.
Ooh.
If you want to look at it like that, you pay to go in and then they keep you.
How dare you? How dare you point them out in their trickery, in their ways, their agenda? Oh man.
Hey, fly, go away. Shoo fly, don't bother me.
I tell you who's not trapped. These RNs losing their jobs through email. North Mississippi Health Services.
I was going to say R. Kelly. Huh? In the closet. He's just trapped in jail now.
They're sending out emails and they're laying RNs, doctors, surgeons, specialists, anesthesiologists, staff, midwives, janitors, everybody. They're losing their jobs.
Janitors? So you're going to have a dirty hospital
janitors
too?
will be the last ones to go. They got to clean up and lock the door. But the other thing, the crazy thing is that you mentioned to me was now that they're offering this option for euthanization, which is crazy.
I'm gonna do an entire thing on that tomorrow because it goes pretty far.
But I think maybe the craziest part about it is not so much that they're offering it, but how much they're charging people to do it.
Well, I mean, you gotta think about it. What do you need the money for?
Ooh, and will your insurance cover?
And if it doesn't, what do you need the money for? Like,